Right now, our Hello World app doesn't do much. It displays Hello World. Let's add something so that we can interact with it. Let's add something to the action bar so that you can click on it and choose a menu item. To do that, we first need to create a menu XML. Go to the rest folder and create a new directory called menu. Next, we'll create a file under menu called activity_main because we are going to use this menu in our main activity. Android Studio automatically created the top node menu for you. We are going to add an item inside it. We will give it an ID, action buy, because we're going to say buy when the user clicks on this menu item. We will also need to give it something to display. We're going to put the string say buy as the title. Right now, the string say buy doesn't exist yet. Let's create it. Put your mouse over add string/say buy and then option return. Android Studio will give us a choice to create the string. Now we can type the value we want. Say buy. Now we have the menu XML. Let's use that in our main activity. We will need to override the onCreateOptions menu function in order to display this menu. You can type that out yourself, or you can ask Android Studio to create that function for you. Go to Code, Override Methods. It's a very long list of functions, so you can start typing for Android Studio to jump to the one you want to override. The one we want is onCreateOptions menu. Android Studio fill in the default for you, which is to call the super function. Let's replace that with our own logic. We would like to inflate the menu that we just created. To do that, you need to get menu inflator and then call inflate. The first parameter is the XML that you created. So r.menu.activity_main. The next argument is a menu object, which is given to you in the function signature. After that, we will need to return true to tell Android that yes, we have taken care of the menu here. Let's deploy and take a look. There are 3 dots on the top right corner. That is where our menu is. If you click on it, it says say buy. Go ahead and click on it. The menu disappears, but then nothing happens. Let's hook it up so that it actually does something. Go back to main activity, and we'll override another function. This time, we'll override onOptions item selected. Once again, Android Studio gives us the default. This time we're going to keep it, but add something in front of it. We are going to check that if the item that's being clicked on is say buy, we're going to do something. To do that, we can check the ID. The ID we have defined is action buy. We will change the string from hello world to buy. After that, we'll return true to let Android know that we have taken care of it. So how do we change the string? If you look back at our layout file, you can see that we have a single text view, but right now we don't have a way to refer to it. Let's add an ID to it. Add the attribute Android:ID, and we're going to give it the ID greeting. Now with an ID, we can change its value in our activity. To do that, we will need to locate this view using findViewById. What this does is to tell Android to look into the layout and find the view with this ID. I'm casting it into a text view because that is the type of the view that we have defined in the layout. Android Studio is showing red right now because we have not imported text view yet. Go ahead and do that by pressing option return. Greeting view is red because it has not been defined yet. Let's define that as a field. Once again, option return. We can select create field greeting view, and we'll choose the type text view. In general, option return is very useful in Android Studio because it's context sensitive and tries to suggest things that you may want to do. Now that we have greeting view, let's change its value when the menu item is selected. Go back to the onOptions selected function, and we're going to change the value of this text view. Greeting view dot set text. We are going to say buy this time. So let's type r.string.buy. Again, buy has not been defined yet. You can use option enter to define it just like before when we did it in the XML, Or you can navigate to the strings.xml and edit yourself. Let's try that this time. To navigate to the strings.xml file, you can click on the menu on the left-hand side, or you can use the keyboard shortcut Shift-Command-O. This will allow you to open the file name by name, strings.xml. Let's add a new item with the ID by. Press Command-D to duplicate the line Hello World. Change the name to by and the value to goodbye. Now if you go back to main activity, our.string.by is no longer red. Let's deploy and try this out. Click on the three dots to show the menu, and then click on Say Bye. Look, the greeting has changed from Hello World to Goodbye. In summary, to add a menu to your action bar, you need to define the menu in XML. In your menu item, define an ID so that you can refer to it, and a title so that you can show some text. Next, in your activity, override onCreateOptions menu to inflate this menu so that Android will show it with your activity. You will also need to override onOptions item selected so that we can do something when the user selects this item.